Hi, I'm Andy from Gelert and we're in the showroom today to show you how to pitch and pack the Atlantis range of tents. In the bag you'll find the main tent itself, a set of colour-coded multi-section fiberglass poles, a bag of pegs, and you'll also find 2 steel poles which can be used to raise the doors as canopies if you're in need. Once you've checked all the contents are there, the first stage is to roll out the main body of the tent and then open it out. The next stage is to peg the 2 corners at the back and the 2 corners at the front. The next stage in the process is to assemble the fiberglass poles. To do this, simply throw out the pole and make sure that each section is securely clipped together. From one side of the tent, insert the pole and feed it through the sleeve. As you're feeding it through, just make sure that every section is securely clipped together. With the colour-coded poles, you'll find the centre section of some of the poles has a different coloured strip to the rest of the pole. This corresponds to a coloured tab on the sleeve where the pole is designed to go. Once all of the poles are in place, you can then start to erect the actual tent. To do this, get a second person to go inside the tent and lift the middle pole at the centre and hold it above their head. On one side of the tent, you'll find a ring and pin on a fixed attachment point. Simply take the pin and insert into the end of the pole. Once you've connected the ring and pin on the fixed side of the tent, you come round to the other side with someone inside the tent to lift the pole and create an arch. Simply take the pin and insert into the end of the pole. You can then tighten this by positioning the pole as close to the ground sheet as possible and pulling on the adjustment strap. You should find now that the tent will stand up by itself, which makes assembling the rest of the poles easier. And now simply repeat the process with the other poles. Now that the main shape of the tent's up, you can then start to work around tightening all the straps and pegging it down. When you're pegging out the tent, use the webbing loops to peg through. Make sure it's pulled tight and make sure that the fabric between all the pegging points is also pulled tight. Insert the peg roughly a 45-degree angle and then hit it in. To adjust the guy lines, simply hold the runner in one hand and pull one end of the guy line and slide the runner towards the tent. This will lengthen the guy line. Once it's pegged into place, hold the runner again and pull the cord coming out of the centre and slide away from the tent, and this will tension the guy line. So once all of the main tent itself and all the guy lines are pegged into place, your Atlantis is ready to use. To pack away your Atlantis range tent, first make sure that all of your contents are out of the tent and the doors are open. Because this tent has an integral bedroom that's permanently attached, you don't need to take the inner tents out, so you can start packing up straight away. First thing to do is make sure the tent's completely unpegged. It sometimes helps to leave 2 pegs at the front and 2 pegs at the back just to keep the tent upright. That makes the process a lot easier. Again, guy lines can be rolled up, which is neater, or just left as they are. The first step for taking the tent down is to loosen off the webbing strap on the far side of the tent, and then once this is done, it should be easier to remove the pin from the end of the pole. Once you've done the side with the adjustment strap, repeat here, and then repeat the whole process working back through the tent. To remove the poles more easily, you can reduce the tension by using the ladder lock on the adjustment strap. Simply lift the bottom of the ladder lock, slide it up, the pole can be moved out, and then the pin removed easily. Once the tent's down, you can then squeeze some of the air out through the open doors. You then need to remove all of the poles from the tent. When doing this, make sure that you push the pole from one side and don't pull. Pulling the pole will separate them and you'll end up with poles stuck in the sleeve, which is not good. Once each pole's removed, simply pull the sections apart and collapse down, and this can then be put back into your pole bag. For the next step, unpeg the last remaining pegs. Make sure that the tent's flat and spread out. Then take the two corners and fold over so the tent's approximately in thirds. While you're doing this, make sure you keep the tent as neat as possible and keep as much air out of the tent as you can. Collect up all of your poles and place them into the pole bag. Then simply place the pole bag onto the end of the folded tent. Make sure you do this at the back of the tent and roll towards the open door, as this will allow any trapped air to get out. As you're going, make sure you keep the roll as tight as possible and as neat as possible. Once you've got the tent rolled up, simply tie the two ribbons around it, place it back in the bag, and you're finished.